Today is Monday morning and it is March 31st, 2025. I just wanted to capture this moment. Monday mornings are fun. It's it's funny to say fun because a lot of times on Monday mornings are what people dread. And when I was in my corporate life, there were times I had fun working where I did, and there were times I did not really enjoy the Monday mornings as much. And but looking back, all of it was worth it because all of it made me who I am today. And now is a time when I look back that one day I wanted to work for myself and I didn't exactly know how all of this would pan out, but it did, and I'm so grateful that it all did, because it's not that a lot of us don't dream of that, we do that, and then we have the fear. But the biggest thing, I mean, there are a few things like I could call biggest. It's not just one thing, but one biggest thing is like coming out of that fear. Yes, you can do that, because when you have that in your mind that I'm gonna do it, and then that fear just goes away and you do it, it's an amazing feeling. So I'm grateful for that. So I just wanted to capture this moment, and as I keep making videos and interact with you guys, and thank you for coming and watching the videos, and I know some of you comment and some of you are silent viewers. So to my silent viewers, I would say that, get engaged more, because as you are engaged more here with comments, your reality is also going to change. And I encourage you also to start something. I don't know, either YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Life is going to change in a so much better way. You have no idea, especially if you had big transition, if you had divorce, or if you had job loss. I had both at the same time a year and a half ago. And I'm so grateful. Now it'll sound weird that I'm grateful that happened, but it had to happen. And for my case, it had to happen both at the same time, because I had lost jobs before and have gone through challenging situations. So it had to be harder than before for me to learn deeper lessons, right? Because we learn lessons only when things are difficult. We never learn a lesson when it's easy. So I'm grateful each and everything that happened in life. And I come here and share the things with you guys that's in my mind, and also I share with friends and on posts on LinkedIn. It's been amazing. So now when you do your own thing, there are, oops, what happened? It kind of went a little blurry all of a sudden. I don't know. It'll probably fix it. It's on my phone. Does some weird stuff. This new phone. Anyway, so it's life. If you even consider there are 100 years, and each year is a chapter, right? There are 100 chapters, and each chapter has 365 pages. Because there's 365 days, and each of those pages, you are the author. You can write the way you want. And that's what kind of randomly came to my mind, and I was telling myself, because some days we forget that we can write it, right? Because we have someone else writing it for us, especially when we work. I worked in corporate all my life. So I probably speak more from corporate perspective, but I think even in the other fields, it's kind of similar, right? We kind of run after making our bosses happy, trying to climb the ladder. And there's nothing wrong with that, but in the process, a lot of time we forget in that rat race that, ultimately the happiness is the most important thing. Yes, money is important, but money will flow when you're happy, because if whatever you're doing, if you're not happy, either physically or emotionally, you might get sick, and the money might go in doctor's appointment. you know. Um, so anyway, so life. I'm grateful for life, and I do this gratitude practice throughout the day here and there for simple things, and simple things like this, right? Like Monday morning, I'm taking a little extra time before I get started with my things that I do, work-related things, and which is also fun. The difference is, of course, like, when you're working on your own business, you work on Saturday, Sunday. Still, last night I was watching a show, and then on the side, I was editing my YouTube videos, the 30 days challenge that some of you guys are following that. And speaking of that series is not only for dating. Even if you are not dating, that will help you to build your confidence around all people, at work, at people you hang out with, and stuff like that. So check it out. Even if you're not dating, that'll help you. That'll build your confidence. Because after divorce, one of the things that happens is people lose confidence in them, because think that they're not good enough. Either they're not good enough from look perspective, or I don't know, smartness, or whatever that may be, but nobody else is defining your worth. You got to define your worth. In fact, you got to define your worth again in a new way, right? Because when divorce happens, it doesn't happen in just one day. It just, if the ground beneath you has shifted, it didn't shift in just one day. It kept deteriorating for a while. And, no matter who says what I believe is there are two people in it. So even though on the surface it may look like, okay, this person has more fault than the other, or whatever that may be, it's not blaming anybody, not criticizing anybody. It's just a thing that two people drifted apart. And when the drifting started, after that, both of them didn't take enough, I don't know what's the right word, time, or it was not prioritized, right? That's what happens. And then the separation, divorce happens in mind first, and then eventually it happens in reality. Because for a marriage to happen, two people have to be so strongly emotionally connected that happened. So there was that strong connection at some point, but that started deteriorating at some point, and then it happens. But the point is, what happens, and nothing is permanent in life. So what you gotta remember is, if you are going through this journey, if you make it permanent in your mind, only then it stays permanent. So you have the power to tell yourself that it was a temporary, that was a chapter. You don't have to live in the chapter. You can turn that page and move to the next chapter, right? Because every single day, even every single moment, you have the opportunity to move forward. So keep moving forward. If you can't do the moment, do the next day. If you can't do the next day, next week, next month, next year. But don't live in a place of sadness for so much longer, because you're just, losing the days and years from your life. The other person might be doing, whatever they're doing. It doesn't actually even matter, right? So our time is limited. Don't live someone else's dream or something like that Steve Jobs said. So enjoy, right? And be grateful for what you have. So when I'm grateful for the little things, it's not that each and everything is wonderful. There are things that can be better, and everybody's life has that, but it's all about the focus. You got to focus on the good, and whatever you focus on, that magnifies. And same thing, like if you're focusing on the sadness and madness, that is gonna intensify. And same thing, if you are focusing on the good is going to intensify, and that will bring in more good in your mind. So anyway, I just want to capture this because I feel blessed more actually on Monday mornings, and I'm happy that things turned out the way they did, and more than anything, that God gave me the wisdom to acknowledge that. That is more important than anything, because we have some things and we keep moving to the next, but acknowledging it kind of makes you realize that how far you have come. Because if we all are in midlife, especially, you know everybody, all of you had different kind of challenges, and you have worked through it, and you have made it this far. You have made it this far because there's something more special that you can do the rest of your life. Encourage people, and people around you, create the ripples. That's why this is a movement that I'm not gonna stop. I'm just gonna keep going. And my hope is that people who are coming here, you guys are also creating some ripples around you, for people to live a joyful life, because life is supposed to be fun. Whatever that fun means for you, as long as you're not hurting anybody and hurting yourself, whatever, anything is off limits. Just go have fun. And one last thing, yes, that is another thing. I wish that thought came to my mind before, but again, everything has its time. Is that 8 billion people and 8 billion unique journey? A lot of the pain and suffering that comes from is that we always think that, even in a relationship or at work, that why the other person is not understanding our worth and all that stuff, right? That creates a lot of challenges at work, especially between bosses and subordinates. It is because people have lived a different life. And I was giving this example this other day on that the Becoming Irresistible, Dating After Divorce, that series that I'm creating, that a yellow posted, where the yellow color was a little bright. And I was saying how somebody who grew up in India might consider that yellow is like a turmeric color, whereas somebody in the US who grew up all their life in US and not is not as familiar with turmeric, they might refer it as a more closer to mustard color. And they both are right. It's the same yellow, but one is saying that it's like the mustard color, and the other is saying that it's like the turmeric color. Why is that? It is because of their life experience. So remembering that, even at workplaces, will give you some peace, that it's okay if somebody is looking at it in a certain way, because their life story is different. The way they're drawing their conclusion is based on their experience, right? So that, more than anything, that will reduce the pain and suffering in your mind. And that is the whole goal, right? We can't change anyone else. We can only change ourselves and our thinking. And that helps us to focus more on the good. So with that, my friends, I'm going to finish this video. And later on today, you will get the 12 o'clock, the short one, and 7 p.m. you will get the usual the tips, the 3 simple tips that I share for becoming irresistible and becoming confident and charismatic. It's not only about dating, so check those out if you haven't. It's also in a playlist, so you can binge watch when you have time. You don't necessarily have to watch it every single day, but whenever you have time, go there and you can watch them and comment and share it with others. And give me a thumbs up. That way YouTube knows that I exist, and more people will be aware of those. So with that, thank you, and thank you for coming here and watching, commenting, sharing. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you guys later. Bye.